Hello, everybody. It is me, Joe Dubs, for Couch Entertainments, and we are doing episode 5 of the Ark, season 1. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad, but I have some 5 points that I'm going to be talking about. Now, I've used the 5 points. I don't know if it was from the last Ark. I took all these reviews are starting to melt together, and I do apologize. But the format I'm going to be doing is I'm going to come up with 5 points. I'm going to say whether they're negative or positive or possibly in the middle, where that could be like a 0.5 situation. But then I'll add that up and tell you what the score is and what type of, whether it be a firm, Cloud9, or other review or other rating as far as the couch firmness. But anyway, let's grab a drink, grab some food, and let's get into some couch entertainments for episode 5. Point number 1 for episode 5 of the Ark here. And things are starting to break through as far as wokeness. Now, if you're a type of viewer that hates hearing about wokeness this and wokeness that, I am sorry. I am one of them. The only difference is I won't point it out and say this is trash right away. I look at everything on a episode by episode basis. So if there's one episode that's really great, I will praise it, obviously. If not, if there's more activism than storyline, then I will tell you that it's trash activism. The first point, which I'm going to say is negative, is this point here, and it involves Lieutenant Lane. So in the beginning of the episode, Lieutenant Lane goes to the doctor and says, hey, you've been looking tired. Why don't you get some rest? And what he does is she says, yeah, I need some rest. And he goes to the computer and looks at confidential information. Right away, I don't know why he got the idea of looking at this stuff. The only thing I could think of is the Comet situation where Sharon Garnett was not getting sick, and she was the key to the protein to fix the water situation so people would stop seeing hallucinations. That's the only reason I think would think he would look into that to see what it's all about, because literally the next scene, he goes out in the public and screams, "You're a clone." What is up with the people on the ship? Every time they have to say classified or important information that should not be told without the ship, they're screaming it in the hallways of the ship, the corridors, where everybody can listen. He goes, "You're a clone!" And I'm like, okay, that's a bad thing. Why are you saying it out loud? She and him are getting into an argument. She believes somehow that she is the best fit for running things, and I don't understand why. I literally just looked at the screen and said why at 3 a.m. in the morning, because that's when it was released for me to watch it, because I don't have TV, so I have to wait for it to come on the websites and stuff. So automatically I was like, why? There's actually no positive thing besides the whole Comet situation, and literally she didn't do anything. She didn't have any action besides giving up her blood, I guess, in order to make a serum. And then because it's classified information, they have to have a vote, because she's like, I'm not relinquishing my power, which again confuses me, because at the end of the episode, she goes up to the therapist and says she believes, she kind of agrees with Lieutenant Lane that she don't know if she's going to become aggressive or not. Again, she's a bad lieutenant. She's a bad person to be running this ship. Automatically, if this is classified information, if this is not supposed to be spread around the whole ship, why is Ava there and why is Alicia there? These two do not need to be in this meeting at all. They bring no credibility to the situation about rank, and the only thing they need to worry about is her keeping the engines running and her keeping the life support running. This has nothing to do with her clone situation. So I don't know why these two are here. They're not officers. Unless they were granted officers in some way, they have no reason to be there. And I would say possibly him too, because he's just security. I guess if they were going to relieve her, she would get arrested and he would have to take her. But then again, I don't think he should be there as far as the vote situation because it doesn't matter. And he's biased anyway because of the situation before where he knows things that other people don't know. And when I say things were starting to shine through as far as wokeness, the doctor was kind of. Now, keep in mind, I get it. She's pissed off. She was used so that he could go look at the computer screen. But then she's like, small dick energy. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Really? You could have just been like, I'm disappointed in you. You used me to go look at my computer. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. And didn't walk out. But instead, the writing was, you must have small dick energy. And it's like trying to like bring Lane down. Which, by the way, out of everybody on this crew, I think Lane is the sanest person because, one, who is she? Nobody knows her, but she's claiming to run this ship right away. And then they have a moment here where he's like, I guess you're going to put me in jail. And then she kind of gives like a talk down moment where she's like kind of waving her power a little bit and trying to like be all macho. And it's really, really. So that is the first point here as far as a negative. All right, point number 2, and we're here with another negative. Again, security guard is going all... Now, keep in mind, at this current time, there's nothing really dangerous happening. There's about to be something dangerous happening, but there's no current intimate threats. So I have nothing against the security guard, asking and doing the investigation about the murder, asking Eva questions about where her whereabouts. This scene is so stupid, super freaking stupid. So instead of asking, telling the security guy where she's been, she's like, I don't have time for this, pushes him into this corridor, and then turns on some, I guess, gas or whatever, or taking out the air. And he's like having a hard time breathing, and he's like pounding on the door to, get her out. And somehow that's supposed to be telling, if I was going to kill someone, this is how I do it. That doesn't make you innocent in any way. I'm sorry. You're supposed to give your whereabouts. You're supposed to give facts. Just because you found another way that you would kill someone doesn't make you innocent. This actually makes you really, really freaking stupid. And because you wasted time, by the way, because in her eyes, she's going to be like, oh, the security guard wasted my time. And that's the reason why one of her coworkers died, because of the whole the radiation leak that was happening. No, if she would have been like, hey, I can't do this right now. I have to make sure the engines are up so that we could get moving to where we need to go. We're on a ship. We're not going to be, there's no transport ship where I'm going to be like, all right, peace, I killed this guy. I'm going to go launch myself out of space, because there is no transporter thing besides that ship, I guess. But then you could put security guards over by the ship so that she can't get onto it. But they're on space. She ain't going anywhere. So I would have been like, hey, I'll answer your questions after my job. I need to go do this real quick. No, she took this strange and tried to make the security guard look stupid and be like, this is how I would kill someone, but that's how I didn't kill anyone. And it's really, really stupid. Like, I got really pissed off at the scene, and it didn't make any sense. It's just another moment of trying to make a woman look bigger than a man. I'm sorry. But that's another negative point. By the way, point number 3, I'm giving like this a mid, like kind of positive, kind of negative a little bit. So I guess this is like a 0.5. Man, that that ooze that's supposed to be like nuclear, that's causing the radiation, looks like green ooze that's like from Nickelodeon. And I laughed at this situation because it's like blowing smoke and stuff, like white flake that you can see right here, and it's blowing out of here. I don't know any science, but it's like goofy as hell. But I kind of liked it a little bit. I will say they did set up the whole situation with Alicia. I just thought the setup that they were doing here, where security, and I forgot she's part of the security as well. She's like looking at the logins and stuff, and then they find out that it's someone, and they do a fake arrest where Angus Dollar Store Toby Maguire is talking to Alicia about the weapon that they saw that hit their ship, and they're trying to think either way to use it as a weapon or a defense. And security comes in, does like a whole "you're under arrest" thing, and the security guy's like, "I believe you, but someone was using your login." Now, if you remember, Trent had the tablet, and that's how he obtained her login information. So in a sense, just like how Lane used the doctor to get into the computer, Trent used her and her awkwardness and her insecurity to gain the login for killing Jasper. I will give a little bit of a positive, but a little bit of negative based off of that radiation thing. All right, before I talk about the Trent situation, because I was pretty negative about Trent in those past episodes where I'm like, he's suspicious, I get it. It's just so awkward that he's doing it, and it's so like out there that other people should be knowing about this, but it kind of pays off a little bit. But before I get into that, again, showing the dumb leadership that is on this ship, because in the beginning of the episode, Sharon Garnett is like, "I don't want to panic everybody about the radiation leak, so we're just not going to tell anybody." But a good leader would do this. They would start to change up working jobs and locations so that when stuff does hit the fan, that it's going to be a safe and orderly fashion of them coming into certain sections so that they're not part of this radiation. Instead, what Sharon did is let everybody still be in certain areas of the ship, and then when the lockdown starts to happen, where everybody needs to evacuate certain sections, they get trapped in certain sections, and there's more casualties. So again, that's another reason why Sharon Garnett is not a good leader at all. So I don't know where her leadership is. She's not thinking ahead at all. Because of the security guard finding out what Trent did, man, I'm kind of being negative again too. How they go after him is kind of stupid. So you would think, hey Trent, you need to come to the bridge. We have a job for you. Or they could be like, hey, meet us in this certain section so that there's not a lot of people and stuff. But instead, they have Alicia go look. They have the girl security guard and then the male security guard looking at each bunkers. And then he's off to a running start. So I guess I'm kind of giving this a negative a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to give this a negative. So I'm not giving it a positive. All right, point number 5 is where I'm going to give a lot of praise. Because at this point, they have a mission now. Another problem, by the way. Seems like every episode they have to have a problem instead of just doing like more story building than anything. Their problem is the radiation leak is spreading, and eventually it's going to spread out through the whole ship. So what they need someone to do is a suicide mission, get into the gear that they have with the helmet and everything, and run to that one switch where the leak happened. And remember when that guy that was with Ava that's laying on the floor next to the green ooze, he was trying to reach for the switch to turn it off and pretty much get the radiation out so that it wouldn't spread out the whole ship. So what someone has to do is they have to get to that switch and turn it off. So Garnett does, well, Bryce first says, "I'm going to do it." And she's like, "No, I need a navigator." And then Garnett is like, "I'm going to do it." And Lane says, "No." And this was kind of weird for me, because he looks at his watch and he sees a message and he's like, "I'll be back in 10 minutes. And he's like, "You got to trust me. You got to trust me." And he's like, yells it out loud and like runs away. It's kind of weird. But anyway, he gets to the ship, or he gets to the part of the ship where he sees Trent, and Trent says he'll do it. And the reason why he chose, we'll get to that soon, because that's the end where I thought, now I'm interested again. But anyway, Trent volunteers, and he tells him why. We don't know the reason yet, because he tells it later. He goes up to Garnett and says, I trust him to do the job. Then they had to add the Alicia, "How can we trust him?" and stuff. And it's like, let him do it. Would you rather have more officers die, even though I don't agree with Sharon? Which then again, I think Lane would do a better job if Garnett did the suicide mission. But I guess we wouldn't have a show then. But then she kind of shuts up, and then Lane says, "Trust me." He's about to do the mission, and this is for the first time ever. I was on the edge of my seat, because he's running through the corridors, and he has to like scream out, "Door, door, door." And then obviously you see the dead bodies, and the tension is rising. The only thing I will say, as far as, again, leadership and the so-called smart people on the ship, wouldn't you think you would have a map, right? of the layout of the ship and where he was going at the moment, just in case his feed did, go out and they don't have eyes anymore, or communication of saying door, door, door on which door it is. Now, you could possibly say the radiation was blocking the signal for Eva to open up the door, but I just thought this was a miss because they're relying on computers and video that could possibly go out. They should be smart enough to know where he is based off of what doors they're opening. But anyway, I digress on that. So he's getting all those boils on his face of the radiation. The door is not opening, and just like we were told by the security guard on how he was good at opening up doors based off of the wires, he does that with this door. He opens it up, and then he has that long, dramatic trying to climb to the console and turn the switch off. And they're still clueless, by the way. It's like, is it working? Is it working? And then they find out the computer that it worked. Security guard says, the mystery is solved because it was Trent, which I think there's going to be more that they're going to need to find out. I still don't think it's 100% Trent. Yeah, the doctor brought up this thing about his knee, so I guess there's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is, so I don't have an opinion on that. Then Garnett is like, you better tell me what Trent told you. And he said he did it for her. I think that was a lie. I think he just wanted to get that out of the way because eventually, this door, when Trent was running away, he looked at this door before he got captured. And I was like, oh, there's something in there. So he opens the door, and it is the owner, the creator of the ship. Based off of the flashback that we saw, he's there, which I'm guessing with his wife. The only silly thing I will say, Trent was talking to Lane. He's like, I knew all along that you were part of our mission. They do a flashback of when they were on the ship and they saw the hologram of the creator. Bryce says, he makes like a funny comment like he always does. And then Lane says, well, all crazy people are geniuses and stuff. And that was the point that Trent knew that he was part of the mission. And I was like, why? Anybody could say that. What if he was wrong and he would go by the book and not listening to Trent? I just thought that was really, really weird. Literally the last 24, when it got up to the 25-minute mark of the episode, I was invested because in the beginning I was getting annoyed. I'm like, why does Garnett think she deserves to be the captain of the ship? Why is Eva doing this stupid thing with the security guard, which probably got her coworker killed? Why are they making every man look stupid? The show. It's kind of a little bit woke. Point number 5 is the most positive and possibly saved the show as far as me keep on reviewing it. But that's what you need to find out in the conclusion of this video. All right. So in conclusion, I will be still reviewing this series, and it's literally because of the last part of episode 5. Like I said in the beginning, I was really, really weary. I was already canceling it in my head. I was like, oh, that's it. This is a strike. I'm going to stop reviewing it. And then all of a sudden, the Trent situation picked up. The Lane situation and the whole him in the radiation hall, and then finding out about the owner being on the Ark. And that's the reason why Trent was so defensive and so suspicious, because in a sense he's trying to protect these people. Now I want to know why he was protecting that person and where it's going to go from there. So because now it brings up who is attacking the ship. Is it people that don't like this guy here, the owner? Or is it aliens doing it? Or is it people that's on the ship already that want to die with the Ark? Who knows? I will say the writing is still atrocious. There's some activism in there because of, the whole climate situation that's happening on Earth. Somehow men are stupid and women are better, I guess. There's certain situations that don't make any sense, especially the Eva situation that really, really made me feel stupid on what she'd done. I could overlook that. Like I said, I'm more interested as far as the terrorist organization that's happening, this owner situation. So hopefully it's going to keep me that way. But keep in mind, there's still a warning that I have on this series. So if next episode sucks, that's it. It's done. And presentation wise, it keeps on getting worse because of the whole radiation leak, the green. They did something where flash colors. It looked like a rainbow color, and it looked really, really, really stupid. I don't know why. I laughed at it, and then when the white flakes that were coming out of a tube, it just looked really dumb. Presentation wise, it's not looking good. But I guess the plot, like I said, it has me interested on what happened at the end of the episode, and that's the only reason why I'm going to continue it. So what do I give this? I give this a firm rating because I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. So it's still in the middle of the road. I highly recommend you get to the 25-minute mark and watch that if you don't want to watch the early stuff. But if you want to see what I'm talking about and give your own opinion on it, then watch the beginning part and comment down below. Tell me if I'm crazy or not. Just how it's written, especially the Eva situation of her locking the security guy in there and like showing how she would kill Jasper another way. Give me your opinion on that. But yeah, that is my review as far as episode 5 of the Ark. There is some news that I'm gonna be doing another video of how I'm gonna be formatting things, and maybe a special announcement that I'm still working on. So keep an eye out on that. It might come out Sunday or it might come out Monday. So keep an eye out for a special video on Sunday and Monday as far as, what I'm going to be doing with this channel. But I think we'll end this video here. I will see you on this couch in the next video. Bye, guys.